Recording. Our session will be recorded today and a copy made available afterward to our attendees. Please do remember to be kind and courteous. We're always creating safe spaces with CUR, so we do hope you'll help us with that. One of the best ways to help with that is to keep your line muted unless you have a question, and to be mindful of any background noise because we are recording. Please use the raise hand feature to indicate if you'd like to speak. The chat is only going to our hosts and co-hosts. That's me and Lindsay. So please send me a message in the chat if you have a question for our presenters, and I will make sure to pass that along to them. And finally, as always, we have closed captions available in the Zoom panel if you need those. And without further ado, I will go ahead and hand it off to Beth. Beth, thank you for joining us today.
Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to CUR's annual, what is the annual business meeting, our member engagement meeting. And we are thrilled. I'm actually super excited to see everybody here and eager. And I know we're recording, so other people will also be able to watch later. This is the first time we're holding this version of the community engagement meeting. It's part of our reorganization with the bylaws and being able to make sure that we're meeting the needs of the community by having an annual full member meeting as we're transitioning to other kinds of governance also. So we're Luke, if you can move on so we get the cover slide on the So as we're waiting for that, I sort of want to run through sort of our objectives for what we want to do. So this is our community engagement meeting, and can we move on to the next slide? So our objectives for this meeting are really to be able to give the highlights of the 2023 year, and because of the way of CUR governance, that means that we've got all of the executive board here to be able to talk through this, because this isn't a one person or even like a 3-person show. This is a multiple members of the CUR community working on this. We're going to give a summary of what the membership looks like. We're going to talk about some of our educational successes, talk about our advocacy work, which has transitioned this year and is really, really successful, and then talking about ways to engage in 2024 and beyond. But to begin with, I wanted to introduce our executive team that works with CUR so that you'll know who everybody is. So I'll begin. I'm Bethany Usher. I am the current president of the Council on Undergraduate Research, and I'm provost at Radford University. And I want to introduce and have members of the Executive Council. I'll call on you. So Ruth Palmer, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure can. Hi, everyone. I think by now you have seen me around, for this is my 3rd year in these roles. I'm here, your immediate past president, and my institution of affiliation is the College of New Jersey.
Excellent. Thank you, Ruth. Has Maria been able to join us yet? Okay, so when Maria is able to join us, she's president-elect, and we'll have her join us later. She is Maria Kula-Bird, and she is professor at Pace University. And then Karen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, Karen Halfholm, treasurer of CUR.
Excellent. And Lindsay.
Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, depending upon where you are. I hope you're having the beautiful weather we are in the DC area. It's finally spring. And I am the executive officer at CUR. I've been in this role just shy of 5 years, but have been part of the CUR community for the better part of almost a decade and a half. So thrilled to be with you today.
I am lucky. CUR is lucky to have Lindsay, and I'm lucky to have been able to work with her for almost that entire time. So that is terrific. I'll also say we have many members of the CUR staff, the national office staff. If y'all will put a wave or a reaction up so everybody can see who you are in your little boxes. And of course, we're only able to see some of that as we do this. And then we also have many members of the board of directors. So if y'all, for members of board of directors, if you could also put your some reaction up to be able to show your membership. It's so I'm so appreciative to have such a great leadership team to be able to work with. So thank you all. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to move, so good to see everybody, is we want to move to talk about the overall highlights from 2023. And I would like Ruth to be able to walk us through these.
Thank you, Bethany. And Luke, please move me on forward to the next slide, if you will.
And Ruth has the next 2 slides.
It's a real honor to be celebrating with you, or to look back at the year 2023. We have these for you on the slides, and what I'd like to really highlight among these is each and every one has a place in this year in terms of our accomplishments. Following from 3 years of hard work, we had the updated bylaws and the governance modernization processes introduced, passed and put into practice. This year, we will be rolling over into many of the parts of these that we need to follow through. I have the honor of working through the NLDC work that it's moving through this first year. From the board working on many of the updates that were necessary. So we now launched the updated CUR Fellows Award and the review process. We're having a number this year that committee is working to bring work the awards and put them through. Sylvia, past president, the award we received again, and maintaining that from the future for $50,000 from her organization. From the research work that has been going on in the background, the transformation grant has come to a conclusion with very much gratitude to Jeff Osborne and his team there. So the publication launched in February, which is last month, and we will receive them and have them with us for the session at Connect UR. In-house SPUR established its fully electronic published journal to increase. Here is where the work is on increased sustainability and to reach a wider audience. Next slide, please, Luke. In addition, I think from the national office, the work that been done there, successful launch of the new website. We have the pleasure to get on there and find our way with everything new that has been offered for us to be able to see the work of CUR and participate in it. The STARS program, so CUR is back on the hill with the STARS program with the class of 23-24. Here, go back to the website so that you can track the work that's being done there, the groups participating. I think it was Maria who was our representative to the World CUR in England this year. That global event drawing participants from the Middle East CUR. I'm not sure that they have established themselves as a region just yet, but the British CUR and American CUR working together for the World CUR in terms of we are now in the international student body. And this work is something that I encourage a number of you to be attentive to see what work you can collaborate with in terms of what's going on there. I had the pleasure of being at the University of Wisconsin-Eau Claire for NCUR 2023. More than 3,500 students and faculty came together to celebrate undergraduate research. And in-house, the last but not least event that we celebrated in 2023 is the Career Readiness launching out under the leadership of our past president. So it's now highlighted and carrying through an online intensive course and the release of recognizing undergraduate research, scholarship, and creative activity. Just let me point out to you, I used an acronym earlier, NLDC, nominations and leadership development committee. That's a standing committee in CUR, and I'm chairing that committee this year. I'll remember to make sure that I articulate these acronyms in the future. It was my delight to be able to participate in launching some of these on behalf of the board. I pass it on in terms of the growth of success to back to Bethany and to the future of CUR. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Ruth. What an impressive year. And you know, we are all lucky that we've had your leadership and that I've been able to follow in your footsteps. So I am really lucky with that.
Appreciate it.
So Luke, do you want to move to the next slide? Not only me, right? But one of the things when you look at this, the membership of CUR is amazing. The reach of what we've been able to do is really spectacular. I'll concentrate first on sort of the map. We are in almost every state. If you've got friends in, you know, Nevada and what is that? That's not Colorado, Wyoming, invite them to join. But you can see the distribution of institutions across the country is really impressive. We have 14,000 total members. Undergraduate research, one of the things I've said a lot is CUR was founded over 20 years ago with the idea that we were trying to support the institutionalization of undergraduate research across universities. And it was a unique idea at the time. We have been incredibly successful, and it's because we've been able to reach and have members who are advocating for undergraduate research all the way across the country. You can't pick up a college brochure or go on a tour at this point anywhere in the country without them touting their opportunities. And it's actually all of you who are all touting your opportunities for undergraduate research. And so you can see the success, and it's because of the network that we've got here. Luke, do you want to move on to the next slide? Because I think there's some particular ways that you can see this. We are half private, half public. We've got institutions that are of every type of institution that in the Carnegie classification. And one of the things that I think we're particularly proud of is we've increased the number of minority serving institutions who are members of CUR. And you can see that in the minority serving section here. And also we reach students and faculty in small to really large institutions. And it's sometimes a challenge for CUR to make sure that the resources we offer and the events that we do are broadly applicable and meeting our engagement ideas, especially our commitment to diversity and equity and making sure that every student has an opportunity to participate in undergraduate research. But I think this really shows that we're able to do that. And when you attend our events and you come to things, you get not only the chance to be able to see people who are in similar kinds of situations as you are or other kinds of areas, you also get to talk across groups. So when you're in the webinars, when you're at the Connect UR meetings, our strength is in the ability to be able to sit and talk to somebody who's at a different kind of institution facing similar challenges and exchanging ideas. And so I just want to point out how important it is that we have this breadth of membership. So Luke, do you want to move on to the next slide? And one of the things we want to do is talk about how strong CUR is financially. And for that, I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Hi, everyone again. So focus on the middle column of this slide first. The last fiscal year, which ended last June, finished very positively with a net increase in CUR assets. And we also received a clean audit thanks to the excellent financial procedures at the national office. Looking to the right of the slide, the investment policy we put in place in 2022 has allowed for better management of our invested funds, especially in the face of a volatile market. The $50,000 donation to endow the Ronco Mentor Award certainly didn't hurt there. On the left, you'll see that this fiscal year is also looking positive. Membership has exceeded the projected budget, and CUR registrations have exceeded projected budget. And sponsorships, which is an area that the national office has been focusing on, trying to expand, is really turned into a growth area. They have increased tenfold, up to over $90,000 in 2024. There's still some post-COVID issues. In-person attendance really hasn't fully recovered to the pre-COVID levels. And people register for things consistently now at the last minute, which impacts how the office can plan for events. And of course, event costs have also not gone back down. And I think the transformation grant was already mentioned, that's closed out. So we currently don't have any grant funded projects ongoing, but you should check out that publication. Okay, that's my report.
Thank you, Karen. And since we actually made the slides, that publication has been released and is out, and that is a wealth of materials that came out of understanding integrating undergraduate research into the curriculum, and some excellent case studies. So that's a good opportunity. So we remain strong in our financials, but we continue to have these kind of challenges, especially in the balance between online and in-person events and the recovery for having people attend in-person events. So thank you, Karen. Appreciate and the strong leadership that both you and the office, so that we continue to get those clean audits is also excellent. So look at the next slide, please. So the biggest thing that's happened in CUR, the biggest reorganization since the founding of CUR, is the governance modernization project that was launched really in 2021, although we had been working on some aspects of this even in the few years before that, led really by Sylvia Ronco, who was here centered in the slide, and to be able to think through how do we update the Constitution and bylaws, to be able to modernize the organization, to be able to put more expertise on the executive board and bring the executive board into the fiduciary responsibility we need to hold for the organization, and to be able to empower the divisions differently. And at the same time, meeting some of our responsibilities we had as an organization that we'd kind of outgrown the organization we'd been in before. And so we had the updates to the Constitution and bylaws, multiple town halls and graphics and things shared. The bylaws were passed in June 2023. And what that means is that this year has really been a transition year. As I was really glad to see those bylaws passed before I took over as president, which I did in July 2023, so that I could help shepherd through some of the changes that are happening. Those changes are going to continue to happen over the next couple of years as we phase out some of the things we were doing before and move into the new governance structure. One of the things that's really strange about that is because one of the important things that's happening is that new positions now all begin in June. New elected positions begin in June rather than July, which means that during our engagement meetings and CUR and the Connect UR meetings, those are all being members of divisions are meeting as the new members of those divisions rather than the people who are rolling off. It also means strangely that I have the shortest presidency in CUR because I go from July till June, and Maria will be taking over from me in June, but it's the right thing to do. I think it'll help a lot with being able to have people use our June meetings to be able to prep for the year ahead as they're doing that. We had nominations for the new leadership, with the bylaws they ran from October through January under Ruth leadership. And one of the new things that's happening is we have a new council that launches in June 2024. So we just had the election of new councilors. For people who have been a member of CUR for a long time, divisions used to be made up of counselors. Divisions are now made up of representatives, and they also elect 2 counselors to be in an interdisciplinary cross-CUR council. And it'll help us foster both meeting the strategic goals and to be able to make sure that each division is empowered to be able to engage their members. So it is a really good structure, but we're still going to be transitioning for another year in this new structure. So Luke, can we have the next slide? One of the things I talked about there is that we want to make sure that we have support for all of our members, so that members get value in being able to find ways that we offer programming to help advance our mission of supporting really high quality faculty mentored undergraduate research across all disciplines and available to every student. And so you'll see that we've been offering a calendar of activities that are well attended. And we've had 1,500 plus people take advantage, 1,500 of our volunteer leaders, and 44, I'm sure I got that number, 4,400 participants across our events. This means we're reaching our membership, but we'd also like to be able to do more. So one of the things we'll always talk about is how can divisions talk about how they're creating activities that are engaging to their members, and how are we also thinking, how can the council, as we're developing that, be thinking about activities that help meet our strategic goals across all of our areas. So, and we are really happy about the number of events and the number of activities that are happening. So next slide, Luke. Leading to that, right, in this year, we have a significant number of activities happening. One of the things we want to be doing is we think about CUR as serving the constituents who are faculty and administrators and staff usually at colleges and universities, but also at partner organizations that are often involved in education. And then we reach our students through the faculty development and the professional development that we're giving. We want to be able to be thinking about faculty development and leadership development all the way across. So you'll see a lot of these events are meeting those goals. The LinkedIn training series, the CUR conversations, so undergraduate research in the press, part of our outreach. The National Conference on Undergraduate Research happening in California in next month. It is, from what I'm hearing, much bigger even than last year, and has a full slate of sponsors who are going to be at the, Lindsay, what are we calling it? The
Future Fair.
Say that again? The engagement fair.
It's the Future Fair. Yeah.
Yes. So I am really looking forward to, hopefully we'll see many of you there and many of your students there. So you can see this list of activities. I'll point out a couple of things. The STAR Showcase, this is our advocacy event. And last year, listening to our students talk about how they were advocating in their communities and nationally for the things they learned through their undergraduate research was a real highlight for me. So I would encourage y'all to be able to participate. We've got the CUR Awards celebration, the Connect UR, both being online and in person. One of the things we're also doing at the Connect UR in person is we've also got space for every division to be able to meet in person. And so we're encouraging division chairs and all of the elected leadership to be able to come and then meet with your members there. The Proposal Writing Institute, actually the Proposal Writing Institute was the first thing I ever went to with CUR, and I met some of the most fabulous supportive people ever, and that's why I'm still a member of CUR, is because of the Proposal Writing Institute. I also got funded. And so that's a fabulous opportunity. And then also put on your calendar the next National Conference on Undergraduate Research. And if I'm right, that's the one in Pittsburgh. And is going, we're coming across the country, and it's already coming up to be an excellent event. So next slide. So one of the things that we're doing is we're looking at, and we've converted, as you've heard, our journal. So it's been converted, so it is an entirely electronic publication with a new website. So we're increasing our reach and our accessibility for that journal. Also, it's financially viable for us to be able to offer it to more people without spending the cost on mailing. And it allows us to connect our content across multiple channels. So you'll be able to see, you can link to the articles. Really an excellent set of articles that are there that really contribute to the scholarship around undergraduate research. So I appreciate the leadership that's being able to manage the movement of SPUR as we go forward. And look, the next slide. Advocacy is one of the things that we've talked a lot about in terms of being able to help position the Council on Undergraduate Research as a leader in undergraduate research, in terms of both our publications, the way we're sharing things, and national advocacy for undergraduate research. And so the career readiness position paper by my colleague and former president, Jean Melkolchik, who I should be able to pronounce her name after all these years. Jean's group, and the task force on career readiness, I think this is the most downloaded position paper we've had on CUR's website. Because many of us are facing the conversations in our institutions in a national conversation about how we're preparing students for the workforce. And what we all know is that undergraduate research is one of the best ways to be able to help students gain those career readiness skills. The career readiness position paper really helps you articulate that and advocate at your institution. We've already talked about the Transformations Grant and publication. So the Transformations Grant helped model how to integrate undergraduate research in the curriculum, and been presented at Connect UR and AAC&U, and the new publication coming out. We've sponsored Hill meetings for the students who are part of the STAR program. As we continue in an uncertain world to be able to face potential for government shutdowns, we've been able to share with members ways to be able to prepare if they're going to be shutdowns. We're partnering with other organizations, and we've got partnership and we've got sponsorships that help us meet our financial goals. And one of the things we've worked with all of you about is, especially if y'all are leading divisions, is being able to have divisional toolkits with the expansion of the website, with the expansion of the CUR community. We're able to move many of you those kind of resources people used to have to find other ways of doing into CUR, and offer you many additional tools for being able to reach out to your members and communicate with them and offer professional development. And we've had opportunities to be able to meet, especially executive board members, with other leadership. So it is a good way to be able to be connecting. Excellent. And so I will move on to the next slide. As we're preparing to move forward, one of the things I wanted to talk about was really looking at where we are, planning for the future. And some of the things as we move into the governance world, We've got increased engagement with membership. One of the things we want to do is make sure that everybody who's participating, we're reaching all of our members. We have, 14,000 members. We want to make sure that members know about our resources and are participating in the activities, and that we are aiming things so that we're getting new faculty all the way up through administrators and our partners to be able to participate. One of the things we want to do is make sure that divisions are making sure that they're reaching out with their members to be able to help engage not just the elected membership, but all the members, including this providing additional leadership, professional development opportunities. Many people who've been members of CUR and especially have taken on elected volunteer leadership roles have been able to use those to be able to advance their careers both within CUR and in their academic or professional lives. And we've started recognizing that as something that we need to not just take for granted, but to be able to offer more professional development opportunities that help people leverage their administrative responsibilities for leadership. We want to engage higher education leaders at campuses so that we are continuing to talk about what the value of undergraduate research is, as everybody's got it embedded, and work with our partner institutions, higher ed organizations, disciplinary organizations, to be able to leverage our shared voice, to be able to advocate for the value of what we do in a world that sometimes is not understanding the value of a college education or research. We want to be able to leverage together what our missions are and the value of what we offer. One of the things that CUR is going to be doing in the next couple of years is our strategic plan was a 5-year plan. At the end of next year, it's time to be able to evaluate where we are. You can see the strategic plan up here on the screen and our 5 areas of focus. We want to make sure that we get a chance to assess where we are and then rethink how we're going to update a strategic plan to position CUR as a national leader for the next 5 years. And we want to be able to build on our success of increasing the diversity of mentors and participants in undergraduate research, that we really do value the ability to be able to bring in a diverse number of students and faculty and being in both nationally and globally and participating in undergraduate research. So we have one more slide. Look, can we move on? So we want to make sure that y'all have all shown up here today, and we're thrilled to have you. We want to be able to make sure that we're all spreading the word today, and as you're being advocates for CUR, as you're looking out, make sure that people are voting. Our CUR elections close on March 15th. You've all got emails with links to be able to vote. Make sure you're voting in your CUR elections. You can, if you haven't joined division or you're not active in your division, make sure that when you look at your membership information, you have joined the division. And then we want to be able to see you at our open houses at Connect UR. So come join, start talking to people in your similar areas. If you've got experiences, pictures, stories, news stories that are coming up, that especially as we're moving into undergraduate research month, in April, I know a lot of you are having, you've got media coverage of your events. You're getting your graduates out and into like stories that are coming up with your media as you're getting to graduation. Make sure you share those stories with us. Elizabeth Morris's email is on here. I know that if you don't remember that, CUR@CUR.org will also happily take those stories, use them to feature on our websites, and be able to send out stories also through social media. We've got open awards this year, so you can still submit nominations for awards that are division awards. You can consider becoming it if you're not already a division representative or a counselor. You can put yourself up for election. Nominations open in October, and if you already are, reaching out to colleagues and encouraging them to put their names in and nominate themselves to become a division representative or a counselor it is a great way to be able to advocate for undergraduate research and to be able to gain experience in leadership. And a fabulous community of people to be working with. And we continue to have opportunities open. So if you look at CUR.org at the volunteer page, and as I said before, if you've got undergraduate research, share it with Todd through this email, or you can use the CUR.org website to be able to do it. And then the next slide, Todd. So these links, Lindsay has been very happily putting in all of the links as appropriate during the conversation we're having. We'll also have these resources all available to you. It's up on the website, right, for everybody to be able to use and to be able to link to all of this, because we know you're not going to be able to get it all right now for where we are. So, and Lindsay, do you want to add anything about this list?
The last bullet point with the new insight pages, that's one of the new benefits of our website. So if you have not seen those yet, they're coordinated pages based on those key topic areas that pull all different pieces from across CUR. So spur articles and events. And so they're really helpful pages. If you haven't checked them out, they are a new benefit of our website. And those other pieces are again in the chat, but some of our core resources that you can also find on the site at any time. I think I'm most excited about the characteristics of excellence in undergraduate research being relaunched at ConnectUR this year, and then with the community later this summer.
And I can't wait to be able to see that. It'll be a great guide for programs, and it'll also be really useful as we think about things like the awards and for program review also. So it's a fantastic, I'm excited about that too. And I will give Lindsay and the whole national office team a shout out. They, we talked about that a little bit earlier, but the website was completely redeveloped this year. And I know many of us are thrilled to be able to see all of the updates that are there on the website. Much easier to navigate. It really does help to be able to have a really excellent website. So appreciative of all the time and effort that went into that, in a way to be able to keep us up to date on all the activities happening in CUR. And then finally, one more slide. So we are thankful for everybody who participates in CUR, who helps. CUR is not the leadership team by ourselves. It is the whole set of all of y'all. It is a group of us working together to be able to support undergraduate research and each other as we're supporting this. And we are grateful, and I am looking forward to seeing everybody in June on in person and online through the events that are happening in June. So we're happy to open up for any kind of questions and conversation at this point. Do we have any questions?
Bethany, I know that Luke and I have been busy chatting with folks, so maybe none for the whole group. But also wanted to share, I will put my email in the chat if any questions come up after the fact today. Certainly email at any time, and either I will be able to respond or somebody from the national office team, or we'll get you in touch with the appropriate members of the board as well. Along with this recording and the slides we'll make available to not just all of you here today, but the entire community. So that'll be out in a few days.
Excellent. Well, if we don't have any questions, then I will release everyone to be able to have free time for the rest of this hour that you had. Thank you for spending the time with us. Thank you for all you contribute to CUR. We are really appreciative. Thanks for your time.